I'm very, very excited that the brackets are about to be released. So I've decided to do a live show where we're going to fill them out together as they're released. I got the brackets ready to go, so whenever they come out, they'll be filled in by the committee or whoever does that, and then I'll see how my brackets look. I'm not sure. You just never know what matchups you're going to come up with, and every year you have this master plan. Oh, I know how I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to have a perfect bracket, and then you see the matchups. You're like, oh my gosh, this was not what I was expecting, and your plan goes right down the tube, and that's probably what will happen. But it's all about having fun, and that's what we're going to do. Have fun as the brackets come out. Y'all know me. My favorite time of the year is college football. That's for sure. But whenever the football season is over, March Madness is a close second. So I'm pretty excited about that. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. So today, I actually have my brother helping me out. He prefers to not be on camera. That's fine. He might pop his head in. That's fine. But he's going to help me control this, and we're going to have a good show today as the 2021 NCAA brackets are released. I'm excited. So I have a question for you guys. Am I the only one that goes on ESPN and fills out the maximum amount of brackets, and I still can't even get in the top, I don't know, 30 percentile? Like, I fill out every stinking available option every year, and I still can never get into the top 30 percentile. You try to predict okay, so if I switch this matchup and then switch this matchup, that'll increase my odds, but you never get the perfect, matchups. It drives me nuts. Let's see who's in the chat real quick. We got Nate Beast. What's going on, man? EC Sports in the house. EC Sports, guys, go check out his YouTube channel. He's got some cool stuff. Baller Sports Media. He's got a YouTube channel as well. Pizza Woman in the house. Joey Foster. Marshall Burns. He's an OG subscriber. I appreciate him. C-Dog Morgan. He's the one that allowed me to stay in the hotel because I was an idiot and waited till the last second to try to book the hotel room whenever we had the Slob Olympics. So, special shout out to C-Dog. I'm not in my studio. I'm actually in West Virginia. But whenever I get back to South Carolina and get back in my studio, y'all will see the sign that he made for me. It is now a permanent part of my background. So, I always appreciate that. So, EC Sports already making 1-seed predictions. And looks good to me, man. Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, Illinois. Yeah, I agree with that, actually. So, the interesting thing is going to see... But you know what? I'm thinking about that. Does Ohio State beating Michigan affect that 1 seed? And maybe... No, Iowa got beat. Never mind. Iowa got beat, too. I would have said if Iowa would have beaten Illinois yesterday and Michigan would have lost, that might have created some issues for Michigan. But no. They're good. They're good as a 1 seed. I like it. And yes, Joey, I know I advertised at 4 p.m., but, I was just building the suspense just to see if you guys would wait on me. Turns out you did, so I appreciate it. Better late than never. You got to realize, especially when you're not in your studio, things pop up. So we had to configure our setup differently because, I'm not going through my laptop. I'm going through his work setup. So we had to change things up. Took a little bit longer than I realized, but we're here. We're all set. And the brackets, I believe, will not be released until 6 p.m. So I'm sorry. My brother corrected me. This is his personal setup, not his work setup. Although previously I could have sworn he said it was his work setup.
That's my work setup over there.
All right. Work setup over here, personal setup over here. So it's actually both. So I was actually half right. But I was also half wrong. All right, let's see. EC Sports says 2 seeds, Houston, Ohio State, Iowa, Alabama. I don't totally disagree with that. We'll see. I still don't, but you know what? I still don't like Houston as a 2 seed. I just don't. I know they won the well, I don't know if that game's over with or not, but it was basically over. So they won the AAC tournament, but they had 2 really bad losses, and their strength of schedule and great wins is not impressive, especially that loss to East Carolina. So I don't know who you would put above Houston. So I think you do have to put Houston as a 2 seed. But what I'm saying is I don't like them as a 2 seed. That right there could be your 15 over 2 upset. If Houston is a 2 seed, that would be the matchup to look for as far as, possibly picking a 15 seed to beat a 2 seed. So I'm definitely keeping my eye out on that. Ray Finkel's house is in the house. What's going on, bud? Marshall Burns says Drew Brees just announced his retirement. That doesn't surprise me. He's been hinting at that. Make sure you confirm that, though, because I might want to do a video on that later. But, yeah, he's been in the league for a while. But what about Tom Brady? He signs a 4-year, technically it's a 2-year extension with, a year after that. But in total, it's supposed to be a 4-year contract locked into 2022. And then after that, a year-by-year basis. So basically, Tom Brady is locked in as the Tampa Bay quarterback until he's 45. So he's keeping his promise. I think the dude's going after 10 Super Bowls, and I think he can very well get it. I mean, we saw, to me, LeBron James and Tom Brady are kind of in the same caliber in the fact that if you take one away from a team, then the team that they're taken from automatically turns to trash, and then the team that you put them on is all of a sudden champions. We saw that with LeBron when he went to Cleveland. They all of a sudden became, championship material. He left Cleveland, and then all of a sudden, Cleveland became trash. Same thing with the Lakers, and then Tom Brady, immediately after he left the Patriots, trash, went to the Bucks, who was trash, champions. So that just tells you how great some of these athletes are. Joey Foster, thank you for the super chat. Dude, you are the first ever super chat that I've had. You're awesome, man. Keep up the good work, and I appreciate that. So you will go down in the history books as Golden Blue Dude's first super chat. So that's pretty awesome. Once you hit 1,000 subscribers, that's when things start opening up. So that's why I kept preaching the grind to 1,000. Now that we're at 1,000, then things are going to start opening up. The shows are going to be produced just a little bit better. We're going to be able to invest money into better sound, better video, stuff like that. But that 1,000 mark is the big one. That's the one that means, bigger doors can open up. Super chat capabilities, going live capabilities, stuff like that. So yeah, we're on our way, and I do appreciate it. And the crazy thing is, like me looking at a content like that, saying you're awesome, man. I'm just being me. Like I'm not even. That's why I'm blown away, especially whenever I got to 1,000 subscribers. I'm like, dadgum, I'm just being me, and they like it. So that just makes me feel really good. Like, well, I'm glad they like it, and I don't have to be. I don't have to pretend to be something that I'm not. And that's the big thing that I enjoy about this channel. And even though he's off camera, this is the brother that got me started on YouTube. So if you really, really enjoy this channel, that's the dude you need to be thanking, because he's the one that gave me the push to actually get in front of the camera and start talking. So even though you don't see him and you don't really know much about him, he's the one you need to thank, because he's the one that pushed me into doing YouTube. So yeah, didn't know if y'all knew that, but if you didn't, now you do. EC says Houston wins 54-91. Good gosh, that was not a game. That was a killing, man. Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State, they were on a who was it? Was it Oklahoma State that was on a 9-game win streak? I just did a video on it. Now I've done forgot. I think it was Oklahoma State, but then they got beat by Texas. So I think pushing a 3 seed would be right where Oklahoma State should be. I think West Virginia will be a 4 seed, Oklahoma State 3 seed, man, the Big 12 is going to be bunched between that. Well, Baylor was going to be a 1 seed, but like most of the Big 12 is going to be kind of bunched between that 3 and 6 seed. You got Kansas, Texas Tech, Texas, West Virginia. Who am I missing? Dadgum, I can't even think of it. Texas, Texas Tech, West Virginia, Oklahoma State, duh. Baylor's the 1 seed. I'm missing one team. Who the flip am I missing? I already said Kansas, I believe. I'm not sure. But anyways, those, probably the lower part will be Texas Tech. Oklahoma, that's who I'm missing. Oklahoma. That's who's probably going to be in the probably 6 seed region. If I had to guess, I would say Texas Tech would be in the 5 seed region or 5 seed situation. And then you got West Virginia and Texas. They'll probably both be a 4 seed. And then Oklahoma State will be the 3 seed, and then Baylor the 1 seed. That's my guess right now, if I had to guess. Pizza Woman, what's going on? Thank you for stopping by. Me and Pizza Woman have had some interesting conversation in Uncle Lou's stream. That's pretty fun. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like your name, man. That's pretty generic. Oregon State made it after winning the Pac-12. That is correct. And if they had not won the Pac-12, they would probably be on the bottom of the bubble, not getting in. They did have a 17-12 record, but their resume not good at all. So it's probably a good thing for Oregon State that they won the Pac-12 tournament, because otherwise they were probably not getting in. So with Houston beating Cincinnati, a lot of these bubble teams are breathing a sigh of relief, because you got to remember, Georgetown stole a bid because they were not getting in without that automatic bid. Oregon State, yes, they stole a bid. Otherwise, they weren't getting in. And then you have Ohio. Who were they playing? Ohio versus Buffalo. The winner of that was obviously Ohio. But I have Toledo from the MAC getting in. And since Toledo got eliminated, then the winner of that Ohio-Buffalo game out of the MAC was going to be a bid stealer. And it happened to be Ohio. I don't expect Buffalo to get in. So that was three bid stealers right off the bat. So, you know, that's a pretty big deal for all these bubble teams, as far as Cincinnati not beating Houston. Cincinnati will not be in the big dance because they were not a bubble team. They had to win today. But they had a good run. So yesterday we had Oklahoma State and Texas. And actually Texas got to the championship game because Kansas had to forfeit because of COVID issues. So they got gifted, and they took advantage. They cashed in, and they beat a red-hot Oklahoma State team. I do think that bumped Texas up to maybe a 4 seed. Texas might sniff a 3 seed. They might. I'm not sure. They do have a decent resume. 19-7. That's not a bad record. I definitely have Oklahoma State as a 3 seed. But as far as Texas go, they're right on that line. Actually, if you're a Texas fan, you probably want to hope for a 4 seed, because you'll be like West Virginia. You'll be a higher 4 seed instead of a lower 3 seed. And even though it sounds better to be a 3 seed, if you're on the lower end of that 3 seed, then you're going to be stuck in a tough bracket. So you would rather be a higher 4 seed than a lower 3 seed. Now, the turnaround to that would be if you're a 4 seed, you would have to play the 1 seed in the Sweet 16 if they beat the winner of the 8 and 9 matchup. So that's the only downfall of being a 4 seed. But then again, if you're stuck in a bracket to where it's not that difficult, and right now West Virginia is projected to be in the same bracket as the number 1 seed Illinois, that's one of the easier number 1 seeds. So it's more doable instead of, like a Gonzaga or a Baylor. Even Michigan's not doing all that great. So if you get if you get put in Illinois or Michigan's bracket, I think you have a much better chance of getting to the Elite Eight as opposed to Baylor and Gonzaga. So we'll see. Zaccaroni, which, by the way, I love that name. North Texas is going to be a 10 through 13 seed. Yeah, I could see that. They won yesterday, I believe, wasn't it? Who did they beat? It was in the, what was it, Conference USA. I can't think of it. But, yeah, I think North Texas, they could be one of those teams that could surprise you and pull off an upset in that first round. Brandon Johnson says, what time are the picks again? They will release the brackets at 6 o'clock, so we're just building up till then. I do have my brackets ready in the background for whenever they do pop up, so we'll go through them. I might even do a couple predictions and see if I can, figure out some upsets that might help you guys out as far as picking out your brackets. The thing is, it's difficult to get the entire bracket, perfect. It's almost impossible, but if you go region by region, you can pick out little matchups where you feel confident about picking the upset. So as long as you go region by region, it's a little more doable instead of looking at the entire thing and you're like, oh my gosh, which matchup do I look at first? It can be overwhelming. So you break it down, go region by region. It's a little more manageable. Very good, Scott. Yes, 5 Central Time. I'm on the East Coast, so it's 6 p.m. for me. It'll be 5 o'clock for you guys in the Central. So, yeah, good call on that. I didn't know you were in Central Time, Nate. I did not realize that. It's actually pretty cool. I think Scott's in Central Time, too. This is a good question right here. Brandon Johnson, do you think Syracuse will make it? I actually do think Syracuse will make it. Syracuse has a really good resume. Hey, bring up Syracuse. I had to nudge my brother. He got absorbed. He fell asleep. We're going to bring up Syracuse, but there's a reason why I like Syracuse. They actually have some good wins, a decent resume. So overall,
They barely lost to Virginia.
yeah, and in the ACC tournament, they barely lost to Virginia by 3 points. That's not bad at all. They beat NC State. NC State was a fellow bubble team. They had a win over Clemson. So I don't think Syracuse had any real bad losses. And they had some good wins. Go to ESPN. That's where you need to go. So yeah, I think Syracuse is actually in really good shape. So, who else? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is in Pacific time. So you're 3 hours behind us. Oh, how did y'all like losing an hour last night? I freaking hated it. And I forget that was last night, but this morning, yeah, it sucked. We came down here to West Virginia, so we're staying with family. And, whenever you're not sleeping in your own bed, even if the bed is perfectly fine, there's still some adjustments. So it's just a little, I don't know. I don't like it. So, yes, he is in Central Time. All right, so here we go. Syracuse, 16-9, 8th in the ACC. That's not, super great, but it's not bad. So, if you look, scroll down just a little bit. So, if you look down, we have 3 good wins in a row, actually. You got North Carolina, Clemson, and North Carolina State. I think that 3-game winning streak is what will get Syracuse in. And then if you look behind that, you had 3 wins against North Carolina State, Boston College, not Louisville, and then Notre Dame. So 2 losses, 3 wins. So basically winning 6 out of 8. That's the stretch. And it even actually starts up there against Miami. I mean, that's a really good stretch to end the season. It was whenever they lost on the road at Pitt that a lot of people had Syracuse out. And then after that, they only lost 5. So I think those many winning streaks, putting it all together, and then especially to end the season, I think that's going to get Syracuse in. All right, so W Prod, who do you have winning it all? Oh my gosh, that's the $1 million question. Number one, it's super early. Number two, the brackets are not even out. So I'm not until the brackets are actually out. That's when I'll start making my assessment. But as far as going by strict talent, I don't know. I don't. There's no way. I mean, right now, you know what? If I had, hold on, hear me out. If I had to put money on a slight underdog to win it all, I would actually say Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, that was the team that I was thinking of earlier that's on a 9-game win streak. It might be up to a 10-game win streak after the ACC championship. But if there's a team that you need to keep an eye on right now, it's the Yellow Jackets. 9 straight wins in a row. They beat Florida State convincingly yesterday in the ACC championship. So as long as they don't lose their mojo, Georgia Tech could be really, really dangerous. But as far as who should be favored, definitely Gonzaga, of course. They can shoot amazing. The biggest challenge that Gonzaga had was actually West Virginia. At one point, West Virginia had Gonzaga sweating at the beginning of the season. Of course, Gonzaga eventually won. I think it was by 5 or 6 points. But West Virginia put up the biggest fight against West Virginia. So if you can play some decent defense, you're not going to keep up scoring with Gonzaga. So forget about it. A team with decent defense and an above average offense, that's who's going to beat Gonzaga. So we'll go through and see what teams fit that profile. But see, up at the top, they beat West Virginia by 5. They beat Kansas by 12. They beat Iowa by 11. They beat Virginia by 23. I mean, it's not like they haven't played anybody. Their schedule is very front heavy as far as strength of schedule, but they have beaten some good teams. Now, after they've gotten into conference play, of course, everything's going to be cake. The West Coast Conference is crap. The next toughest team is BYU, and they're I think BYU will make the tournament, by the way, but they're not all that great. You get below BYU, and it's just garbage. So, ever since conference play started, it's been practice for Gonzaga. So I'm going to be very interested to see how they do against quality competition. Zaccaroni says the Zags are overrated as crap. I wouldn't say that because of what I just said. They have beaten some. I mean, when a team beats your team, I can't say they're overrated because I think West Virginia, decent team, above average, has a shot to go to the Final Four. Beat us by 5. Iowa, good team, has a decent shot to get in the Final Four. Kansas, good team, has a decent shot to go to the Final Four. Virginia, decent team, has a chance to go to the Final Four. The biggest issue, though, was we didn't get to see the Baylor-Gonzaga matchup. That was the game that everybody wanted to watch, and because of the COVID issues, it just didn't happen. So that's the game that would have really, really told us something about both of those teams. But like I said, Kansas, West Virginia, Iowa, Virginia, those are really, really good wins against, top 4 seeds. So I'm not going to say Gonzaga's overrated, but I will say that they're not invincible. They can be beat. West Virginia exposed them just a little bit before we kind of let that one get away. So if there's a team that, first of all, you have to have supreme confidence before you step on the court against Gonzaga. If you go in intimidated, you're done right off the bat. So it needs to be a team that has supreme confidence. That's why I'm looking at Georgia Tech. If Georgia Tech is slapped into the brackets with Gonzaga, Gonzaga could be in trouble in the Sweet 16. Because right now, I have Georgia Tech as a 4 seed. I think they can pull off a 4 seed, and if they're stuck in the same brackets as Gonzaga, that means they would meet up in the Sweet 16. So that I'm definitely keeping my eye on, and that's when I think Gonzaga would definitely be challenged because Georgia Tech's good, and Georgia Tech is confident right now, and that's the team that could be dangerous against Gonzaga. I mean, they just won the ACC. The ACC is down this year, but Georgia Tech is on a tremendous tear right now. So what all fan bases do we have repped in the comments section? Type in your fan base so we know, maybe I can talk about your team just for a second. But I do see Ray Finkel's saying Arkansas is definitely a dark horse. 100%. They were another one of those teams that has been hot recently. They did get beat by LSU, but LSU's a decent team. Alabama flexing in the SEC. I think they straight up whooped LSU in the SEC title game in basketball. But Alabama 24-6. That's impressive. If you look at their losses, their worst loss was at the beginning of the season against Stanford. Stanford kind of played their way out. They lost to Clemson. Clemson's a tournament team. Western Kentucky, that's a tournament team. Oklahoma, tournament team. Missouri, tournament team, but kind of on the slide. And then below that, I don't know, did they lose anybody else below that? No, Arkansas. And that's when Arkansas really started flexing, is whenever they beat Alabama. But even if you look at that last stretch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alabama has won 9 out of the last 10, including the ACC tournament, and their only loss was to Arkansas. So Alabama actually might have been lucky. No, they didn't throttle LSU. They only won by 1. For some reason, somebody told me they got throttled because I haven't been keeping up with the tournament today. But no, they barely beat LSU. Wow. Well, that's the SEC tournament. Yeah. All right, so Nate is Notre Dame. What? You're a Notre Dame fan? I didn't even know that. Well, Notre Dame's not going to be in, so I can't talk about Notre Dame. Sorry, they're trash in basketball right now. Scott Baylor. Yes, I knew that. Joey is West Virginia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Washington State. Well, I mean, they're not in the tournament, but, Pac-12 will be represented. I can talk about the Pac-12. Yes, Aaron. Alabama beat LSU by 1. I see that now. That was a big swing and a miss by Golden Blue, dude. I tried. Oh, by the way, don't forget to hit the like button. It is more important than you realize. When you hit the like button, it helps with the algorithm with YouTube to get my videos recommended. So one click, doesn't cost you anything. Hit the like button, and it will help me out tremendously, and I will be super thankful. And if you're not familiar with this channel, and you just kind of, stumbled onto it because you're looking for a bracket reveal show, hey, hit that subscribe button. I do videos every single day. We just hit 1,000 subscribers. So let's keep this thing rolling. Hit that subscribe button, and you'll see at least one video it'll be up to you to watch it, but I'm saying it'll be there, a video every single day. Sometimes college football and sometimes college basketball. I fully admit whenever college football season rolls around, that's when I'm in my prime. But I do keep it rolling in the off season and during March Madness. And by the way, you'll become part of the best subscriber base in the nation, in my opinion. Very active, very, very great subscriber base. I love them. Ray, hit that like button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 said I just did. That's what I'm talking about. We are growing right before your very eyes. That is what I'm talking about. So we are down to 20 minutes before the brackets are revealed. I'm starting to get excited, guys. I'm wondering what the 5-12 matchups are, because those are the ones that really catch people's eyes, because every stinking year at least 1-12 beats a 5. The question is, can you pick the right one, and will there be multiple upsets of a 12 over 5? Because I've seen several years where there have been 2 or even 3 12s beat the 5. So do you go out on a limb and try to predict more than 1 12 over 5? Or do you try to be specific and try to figure out who has the best shot of a 12 over 5? There's a lot of math that goes through it, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of overthinking. So, yeah, my brother brought up the Washington State Cougars, and this is why they're not going to make the tournament. Sorry, bud. That's a 6-game losing streak if you look there in the middle of the season. You lose to Stanford, UCLA, USC, Utah, Colorado twice. But don't feel bad, man. I'm a West Virginia fan. We've had the same issues. You have a down year, you just come back better next year. So, but since you were a Washington State fan, I decided to pull it up and, talk about it because I agreed to that. All right, so who else? We had a Baylor fan, We already talked about Notre Dame. Or not Notre Dame, but Alabama. We might go back to them. Let's go to begrudgingly. Let's go to Baylor. Nate says the Illinois game isn't even over yet. I know, right? It's crazy how they time this thing. Like, as soon as that's over, that's when it's going to be out. So, like, how do they adjust? Because that would matter. Illinois and who are they playing? Is it Iowa? No, Ohio State. That would... Oh, they're in overtime. My goodness. And that's going to affect seeding. So how would you determine that, like, that fast? As soon as the game over, you have it determined, within 5 minutes. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. Michael Hogg's in the house. He says, "What's going on, Golden Blue Dude?" I'm just hanging out with you guys, man. I'm here with you. Christopher Matthew, am I saying that right? Christopher Matthew with the super chat. Will you be streaming the selection? Well, in a way, I will be. What we're doing is we don't have the CBS streaming service on our setup, but we do have the brackets, and so as they're being filled out, there won't be any commentary from TV announcers or TV commentaries, but you'll see the brackets being filled in, and as they're being filled in, that's when I'll talk about the matchups, because we couldn't figure out how to get up the CBS part of it. So yes and no is the best way I can answer that. Yes, because it'll be being filled in, but no, because we won't be streaming the actual show. So that's the best way I can. Well, my brother is actually trying to figure it out right now. What about that? Yeah.
I mean, we have it. I just don't know that. I don't know if we can actually put it on the stream. That's the question.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
We're trying to.
We might be able to bring it up every once in a while and make the window small or something like that.
That's what I would do. We're trying to figure a way. We might actually be able to do it, but we're trying to do it in a way to where we don't get flagged. Because if you get flagged, the stream gets taken down immediately and show's over. So yeah, we don't want to do that. So we'll try to figure out a way to safely and legally do a stream like that. So we'll see. Oh, that's what I'm talking about, Michael Hogg. He says, GBD, this is a good comment, by the way. GBD, things are already done with the brackets. Just waiting to see where to put Illinois and Ohio State. I agree 100%. But that's what I was talking about. Like, do they have a plan beforehand? All right, so if Ohio State wins, they're going to go there. And if Illinois wins, they're going to go here. So maybe there's a pre-plan, and then they just watch the final, and then they're like, all right, plan A happened, so we'll go with plan A. Or plan B happened, and we'll go with plan B. That's the only thing I can think of. That's a good comment, man. That's a very good comment. Loved it. Michael Hogg, GBD, where do you see West Virginia and Purdue being seeded? Well, West Virginia is going to be a 4 seed. We need to take a look at Purdue real quick. I need to look at Purdue. West Virginia is going to be a 4 seed. I got to look at Purdue's real quick.
We're going to come back to this game tonight.
Yeah, definitely. We'll come back to that game for sure. So for Purdue, they're 18-9. Let me see the last stretch of theirs. So they just lost to Ohio State. So they were on a 5-game winning streak. Purdue might be looking at a 4 seed too. 18-9. That's 4th in the Big Ten. Yeah, I think Purdue's going to grab a 4 seed as well. They got hot towards the end of the season. They're before the Big Ten tournament. They were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think it was like 12 out of their last 15. Somewhere in that, it's either 12 out of 15 or 11 out of 14, something like that. So yeah, they're actually doing, but they did get eliminated by Ohio State. What about the Buckeyes? Bring up Ohio State real quick. Yeah, Pizza Woman, I know you're a Buckeyes fan. We're about to talk about them right now. That was good timing, by the way. You were reading my mind. All right, so Ohio State. So if we go. Okay, so see right there, 4-game losing streak. That's when I knocked Ohio State from a 1 seed down to a either lower 3 seed or a higher 4 seed. But after that 4-game losing streak, they went on a 3-game win streak. So I would have probably Ohio State maybe a lower 2 seed or a higher 3 seed. depending on what they do with Illinois. If they beat Illinois, they're a 2 seed. Ohio State's a 2 seed. If they lose to Illinois, I would have them probably as a higher 3 seed. I didn't even realize this, though, but before that 4-game losing streak, they had a 7-game win streak. And even before that, they won 10 out of their last 11. That's one thing about Ohio State this year. They are very, very streaky. They're a very streaky team. And the good news for a Buckeye fan, talking to you, Pizza Woman, is they're on a hot streak right now. So if they can ride that hot streak into the big dance, they could be a Final Four team. Out of all the teams that I've tried to diagnose and break down, Ohio State is definitely the most streaky team that I've seen. So you just never know what you're going to get with the Buckeyes. And all it takes, people forget this, all it takes is one bad game. You lose one game and you're done. So being hot does matter, and that's why I am a little concerned about West Virginia, because we lost 3 out of our last 4 games. So there's no redos in the NCAA tournament. So I'm hoping we get that together, and it's our help defense. That's our biggest issue, our help defense. Offense, okay, rebounding needs some work, but our offensive side of the ball is fine. For whatever reason, we're not as quick as we usually are on the defense. And for a West Virginia fan, the key to the game, and it comes down to one person, and it's not even a starter, it's Gabe Osabuehin. When that dude fouls out, that's when we lose. If he can keep from fouling out, that's when West Virginia has a chance, because he's a multi-purpose player, and he gives us depth. So the dude needs to stay out of foul trouble. All right. Michael Hogg says Ohio State is going to be a 2 seed. If they lose to Illinois, they could be a higher 3 seed. Trust me, there's a lot of, you got Arkansas out there. You got Alabama out there. You got Iowa out there. So it would definitely be Ohio State fighting for that last 2 seed, but that wouldn't be a lock. Now, if they beat Illinois, yes, 100% lock. And in fact, they might be in the upper half of the 2 seed. So this game is a big deal for both teams, for Ohio State, Illinois. I think Illinois is going to be I'm pretty sure Illinois will be a 1 seed no matter what. I'm not 100% confident about that, but pretty sure. For Ohio State, though, this game is the difference between a 2 or 3 seed. That's just how it is. Michael Hogg says, I do have to ask you all, what is your take about Drew Brees announcing his retirement? I think, honestly, number one, it doesn't surprise me. Number two, I think the only reason he kept playing until, even this past year is he had some unexpected success. Drew Brees was ready to retire 3 years ago. But then the Saints, had a couple of great seasons, and it kind of revived him, and now he's feeling it again. Even though, the Saints didn't fall off a cliff or anything like that, but he's feeling it. He's feeling his age. So it doesn't surprise me. He was ready to retire 3 years ago, but then the Saints got on a hot streak, so it kind of revitalized him. Kind of expected this, but it's still, I'm in my late 30s, so I've seen, great players come into the league and great players, retire. And every time a guy that you've known since he was drafted retires, it really makes you realize how short an NFL player's career is. Even Drew Brees, who had a very, very long one, it's still not that long. So I think the big one is going to be when Tom Brady retires. That's gonna hit a lot of people right square in the face, including myself. And he might be 40-8 before he retires, but still, it'll be the greatest of all time retiring. It'll be like when Michael Jordan retired. But the thing with Michael Jordan is he kind of smeared up his retirement, because he retired once, and then he came back and won 3 more championships. So that retirement and coming back is fine. So then he retires again, then he comes back, and I believe he did it one more time. He retired too many times. Like, why did he need to retire and come back that many times? I think after the second retirement should have been done. 6 championships, you're good. Greatest of all time. You don't need to come back. I will say that because he did come back, that I did get to see him at the, well, back then it was called the Bilo Center. They were doing an exhibition game when he played for the Wizards. So, in all fairness, because he did come back that one time, I got to see Michael Jordan in person, and I wouldn't have if he hadn't. But as far as legacy goes, the dude should not have come back after that second retirement. Everything was fine. He was the greatest of all time. 6 championships. Dude, you have nothing left to prove. You're done. Just be good with it. So that's the only thing that kind of irritates me about the Michael Jordan career talk, because he retired and came back way too many times. And Scott says it's like Brett Favre retiring. Yeah, the same conversation, but definitely a different caliber. I would definitely have Michael Jordan much higher as far as athlete wise goes. All right. Ray Finkel says, I saw him play for the Barons. I do. Oh, Josh is in the house. The GOAT Brady. Yes, I agree, man. Definitely. Every time I see your screen name, it confuses me. But once it sinks in, I know who you are. All right, so Bailey Rapp, who do you think Liberty will play? This is a good question because I think you're thinking in the right direction. I think Liberty will be probably either a 12, 13, maybe 11 seed. I don't think Liberty is going to be below a 13 seed. 14 at bare minimum. So as far as who they would get matched up, so if they get the if they get the 14th seed, they could actually end up playing West Virginia or Purdue. But if they get the 12th seed, which is what I'm thinking they're going to get, I think they would actually have more of a chance of playing somebody like who was that? Colorado, 12-5 seed. I think Colorado could be a 5 seed, or somebody like Colorado, USC. Who in the Big Ten would I be comparing to? Maybe a Wisconsin. Liberty and Wisconsin. I'm feeling that for whatever reason. But if you look at Liberty, my goodness, they're on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-game win streak. This team is really good. They don't play in a great league. Yes, I know. They don't play in a great league, but they are on fire. And I believe they won their, if I'm not mistaken, didn't they win the Atlantic Sun tournament? I'm not 100% sure, though. Oh, clinches, yeah. So they got it before that. What? I didn't even see that article. It said Liberty clinches first NCAA tournament spot before even playing the conference final. Did somebody have to forfeit that? I'm not familiar with that story. That's crazy. Okay. The ASUN Championship. So we have a Liberty fan in the house. Wow. I have not seen a Liberty representative in my chat so far, so that's a first. Awesome, dude. That is awesome. I want all fan bases in here. How do you feel about your football season? I thought y'all had a great football season. In fact, one of my subscribers, his name was Vandy Dandy. He actually won. What was it? $1,800 because of the upset that I had him pick. I believe it was Liberty over Coastal Carolina, and I had Liberty. So yeah, Vandy Dandy won $1,800 because I picked the upset and Liberty pulled it off. That was a crazy game though. Liberty tried to give that game away. It looks like I was about to pull this one off. They're up by 4 with 34 seconds. Okay, so we have some Arkansas fans. Let's pull up Arkansas real quick. All right, so Arkansas, 22-6. Yes, they did lose to LSU in the SEC semifinal. But look at the tail end of their schedule real quick. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They were the one that had the 9. Hold on. Yeah, they had a 9-game winning streak before losing to LSU in the semifinals. So, and then we saw LSU give Alabama all they could handle. They only lost by 1 point. So, Arkansas, that is definitely a team. I think I might have Arkansas as one of my Final Four sleepers for sure. I just got to see how the matchups come up. So, it looks like we're down to 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So, yeah. I'm actually going to try to, write this down. I don't know how this is going to work out. I've never done a live show as far as Selection Sunday, so we're going to see how this works out. Are we going to stream the actual show or just the brackets?
We might be able to pull it up a little bit here and there.
All right, so what we're going to try to do is, so the stream doesn't get taken down, we'll try to kind of go in and out of the actual show and maybe keep the brackets on as they get filled out. And we'll see what kind of matchups we're looking at. Justin says, how do you feel about LSU? I think LSU, the only issue that I have with LSU is their defense. Their defense needs to get better. LSU has one of the best, people don't realize this, LSU has one of the best offenses in the nation as far as scoring. So if they come up against a team that doesn't have a very good defense and it comes down to a shootout, LSU will win. We saw that against Arkansas, and we saw that against Alabama. Even though they lost against Alabama, it was a close game. So, I think LSU definitely... I mean, every team has the potential of making the Final Four, depending on what kind of, matchups. But as far as if I had to pick, like right now, right here, right now, I would put LSU as a Sweet 16 team. I just don't know if they can pull off the upset over a 1 seed. And I would have LSU as a 4 or 5 seed, which means that they would end up either playing a 1 or a 2 seed in the Sweet 16. So, yeah, I would have LSU getting to the Sweet 16. I just don't know if they would get past the Sweet 16. That's the only thing I'm not sure of. But fairly confident about getting to it. All right, so hold on. Let me see the score real quick. Move that to the left. All right, so Michael Hogg says 26 seconds left. Illinois up by 6, 87-81. Oh. 87-84 with 15.8 seconds. Oh, my goodness. They're going to try to send it to double overtime, and the brackets are going to have to wait. That would actually be hilarious. That one, I mean, they're ready to put these out, and they're like, this game will not end. Friggin' end. Not so fast. 16 seconds left. Illinois up by 3. The selection committee did not have this one taken into account as far as going into multiple overtimes. So, yeah, we'll see. Nate says, Scott, imagine if they go to like 5 overtimes. We'll be here till freaking midnight waiting on the brackets. No, I mean, I'm all for great games, but on Selection Sunday, please don't go to 5 overtimes. We want to get this thing done. Or on a roll. This is the comment that I really like. Ray Finkel's house. Depending on their bracket, Arkansas could go really far. If I had to put money on it, I would say Arkansas could be an Elite 8 team. Definitely. I think they're capable of upsetting anybody. The only thing that concerns me is after, you're playing so many games in a row and then you're starting to come up against tougher competition, I mean, they would be hot at the time, but would they have the gas left in the tank? That would be my biggest question. 88-84, 14.2 seconds left. Oh, don't forget to hit the like button, guys. That helps my algorithm with YouTube. It'll get our videos recommended, and I say our because this isn't just my channel. This is your channel, my subscribers. It helps our videos and our channel get suggested and rolling. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We already passed 1,000 subscribers. Now we're trying to get to 5,000. So yes, Do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button as usual. And you know I appreciate it. So, 15 seconds left. Well, Hog says 14 seconds left. They're up by 5. So it looks like they're coming down to free throws.
Is there a better Gamecast than this? Play-by-play?
Not for that though. No, that's going to be the closest.
Okay.
Well, right now, Hog is keeping me updated, which I appreciate that, Hog. And we are approaching 100 viewers now. That's crazy. Yeah. So, Hano, am I pronouncing your name? Is it Hano or Hano? Will you be streaming the selection? That's what we're trying to figure out. So, the first goal is to not, YouTube not take this stream down. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to stream it maybe in and out. But we have the brackets set up so the brackets will get automatically filled. So even when we switch out of the actual show, see I have the brackets there. They're ready to go. So even whenever we're not seeing the actual show, we'll be able to see the matchups. So you might not hear the show as they're commentating, but you'll have me to describe to you the matchups and what region they're going to be in. So, like I said before, the best answer to that question is yes and no. We're going to try to get, some of it in, but at the same time, we don't want to risk the live stream getting taken down. So, yeah. Hog says 89 to 84, 5.1 seconds left. It looks like Illinois is going to pull it out. And that should solidify Illinois as a 1 seed, and Ohio State's probably going to be an upper 3 seed. Which, if you're a Buckeye fan, relax. You actually want to be an upper 3 seed rather than a lower 2 seed. Because even though you'll have a slightly tougher matchup in the first round, you'll be put in a little bit easier bracket. So you got to think long term. Don't worry about that first round. People worry about, it's easier to beat a 15 seed than it is a 14 seed. The first round, if you're supposed to be in the tournament, then don't worry about it. You'll win that. You got to think ahead. So, did they give you the toughest brackets? Did that, are you going to get matched up against, the potential national champion in the Sweet 16, which is exactly what happened to West Virginia in 2018. We ended up playing Villanova in the Sweet 16. They knocked us out. They went on to win the national championship. And I went back and looked at Villanova's every single game in that tournament, and West Virginia gave them the best fight. But because of the bracket that we got stuck in, we ended up playing the eventual national champions in the Sweet 16. So matchups matter. Don't necessarily worry about that seed. Worry about, if they stuck you in, the toughest bracket, the easiest bracket, all that stuff. That's the one that you really need to be paying attention to. Dadgum, this thing needs to update because 6 seconds left. I know they're probably shooting free throws for the last 6 seconds, but it shouldn't take no freaking 15 minutes.
We could pull it up over here, I guess, and keep them updated.
All right, so Jeremy, man, I don't know how to say your last name, so I'm gonna try. So bear with me, Jeremy Irk. Jeremy Irk. Who is your sleeper? That is a good question. Well, earlier I mentioned Georgia Tech. I don't know if you would classify them as a sleeper because they are on it's either a 9 or 10 game winning streak. So if you look at their seeding, they're probably going to be a 4 seed, so you could still classify them as a sleeper. But if you look at their actual resume, what they've done their past 10 games, how hot they are, they might not necessarily be classified as a sleeper. I'll classify them as a sleeper because they're going to be a 4 seed. Georgia Tech is my sleeper. If I had to go beyond Georgia Tech, how about I do this? I'll go through each conference and pick out my sleeper. So the ACC, I'm gonna go with Georgia Tech. They're really hot right now. They could very well go to the Final Four. In the Big Ten, I'm probably going to take Purdue. I've been talking about Purdue for a while. All right, so that score went final. Illinois did beat Ohio State, so I expect Illinois to be a 1 seed, and Ohio State will probably be an upper 3 seed. So, we're looking at the selection show as far as streaming it. It says the event will begin soon, so we're just waiting on that. Just wanted to give you guys an update. Yes, Illinois did win. They are a 1 seed. Done deal. Now we're just waiting on the show online to start streaming. Then we'll get that done. I don't know how back and forth this is going to be because this is we don't want to risk the stream being taken down, especially we got a lot of people in here today, so we want to keep the stream going as long as possible. And if you're just now joining the chat, don't forget to type the team that you're representing. I want to try to talk about as many fan bases as I can. So if you're representing your team, let me know who it is, and we'll try to pull it up and talk about your team and see what we think about it. I'll give you my opinion on how far I think they're going to go. Wait, somebody said Marshall a sleeper? Marshall's not even going to make the tournament, are they? Am I reading that comment right? Scroll up there and see that real quick. Right. No. Right here. Marshall a sleeper. I don't think Marshall's going to make the tournament, so I'm not understanding that. I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying I don't understand that comment because I don't think Marshall's going to make it. All right, so we got Syracuse, Oklahoma State, Michigan State. All right, so I've already talked about Syracuse. Let's pull them back up because Syracuse is a bubble team, and they're going to be a hot topic whenever this show starts up, whether they make it or whether they don't make it. For me, my opinion, I'm going to have Syracuse in. I want to go to the last part of their schedule real quick. So I got Syracuse in. And like I said before, you look at the bottom of their schedule, North Carolina, Clemson, NC State. Those 3 wins in a row, that's what I believe will get Syracuse into the tournament. They did lose to Virginia, but that's a close loss. That's not a bad loss. Now, if you look at the top where they played Pitt, after that, that's when everybody had them counted out. But they've been hot ever since then. So I have Syracuse in. I'm going to have Syracuse probably as a, I don't know. They're probably going to be in the 8-9 matchup. So Syracuse probably going to end up having to play the 1 seed. All right, so I'm glad all right, yeah, we need to talk about Louisville. This is a big deal. All right, the show is about to start actually, guys. Pull up Louisville real quick. Louisville, I don't have a good feeling about Louisville. They did not end the season very well. They lost to Virginia, and they lost to Duke, and they lost 3 out of their last 5. Now, after they beat Georgia Tech, I actually had Louisville in. But then after that, that's when they lost 3 out of the last 5. 13-7, 7th in the ACC. That's not a definite no. Are we screen sharing that?
No.
Okay.
I don't think we should.
All right. What about our brackets?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We'll,
All right. So.
They haven't announced anything. So.
All right. So just to give you guys an update, the show is on. We're not sharing it right this second because we don't want this stream to be taken down. So we're watching it. It's on CBS. So if you're wondering where we're watching it, it's on CBS. You can watch it with me. We're going to fill out the brackets. So we will do that. We will do that with you, filling out the brackets. We just don't want this stream to be taken down. Like I said before, hit the like button. That helps this channel out. Gets us suggested, recommended, more eyes. Maybe you're a new person. You've never seen this. That's how this will help. It'll help reach people like you that's never seen this channel before. And, just little things like that. Charlie Haynes says Kentucky's a sleeper. No, Kentucky is not a sleeper. Kentucky is not going to make the big dance. Sorry, bud.
Talk about Kentucky and Duke a little bit.
Now, Duke,
That's what it was.
what year was that? That was definitely not this year because they had them at 17-8. Yeah, go for Duke. I mean, some people still were acting like Duke was going to, make a run. 9-16 for Kentucky, 8th in the SEC. No, they're not making the big dance. Pull up Duke real quick. All right, in the West region, we do have Gonzaga. Which one's the West? It's going to be on this side, right?
Yeah. Here you go. They just announced.
And the playing game is going to be Norfolk State and Appalachian State. Oh, that's surprising. I didn't think they would put Appalachian State as a playing game. All right, that's Oklahoma's the 8th seed. So y'all bear with me because I'm actually writing them down as we go. So we got Gonzaga the 1 seed. That's on the screen share, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're watching the screen, they're being filled out as we go. We got the 9 seed Missouri. I'm actually surprised with that. That's pretty low for Missouri. This is going to be a crazy reveal, guys. I'm already seeing it. This is 5 seed Creighton on the board. So they could be a victim of the 5-12 upset. So that's University of California, Santa Barbara, I believe. UCSB. These things come out so fast it's kind of hard to write sometimes, but I'm doing my best. So the playing game is Norfolk State. But we got it on the screen for you guys if you're trying to keep up. Yeah, Creighton, they got beat by Georgetown. I'm interested to see. Okay, we got the 4 seed Virginia. Wow, 4 seed. That's kind of high. I don't know about that. 13 Ohio. Good for the Bobcats. I'm glad to see that. But Virginia, a 4 seed. I don't know. I mean, I guess they did end the season ranked, and they did beat what was it? Was it Louisville? I think they beat Louisville. Personally, I had Virginia as a 5 seed, but I can't totally be mad. Michael Hogg says the Virginia-Ohio game could be interesting. I 100% agree. Ray Finkel's house, does UAB get in? That is a good question. Is that on the same one?
Look, the selection show isn't like anything special, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, let's go back. Okay, so we got the 6 seed USC. They're revealing these in a weird sequence. And then below that, we have the 3 seed Kansas. Y'all bear with me. I'm writing these in. I'm old school. Against Eastern Washington. Yeah, I think that's bad news for Eastern Washington. I think Kansas is on a pretty good clip right now. Although they did have that COVID issue, so, you never know. All right, so we got a 7-10 matchup. This looks really good, guys. Really, really good. Oregon, VCU. And then the bottom was going to be Iowa.
Hey, you got to talk about this. This is the play.
And then we got a play-in of Wichita State and, oh my goodness, Wichita State and Drake. Wow, that is going to be a great play-in game. I'm actually really happy about that. And then on the bottom of that bracket, we have Iowa. And then 15 Grand Canyon. All right, guys. Quick. All right, here it is. If you're looking for a possible 15/2, I'm eyeing Grand Canyon over Iowa. Grand Canyon is on fire, and Iowa's has been shaky recently. Not sure. But chase me crazy. Wichita State will get in. You are correct, sir. They are in the play-in game, actually. I believe that's for the 11 seed? That's the play-in for the 11 seed.
Yeah, they're down.
Wichita State and Drake.
And then the West is.
So the West has been won, so to speak, as far as people making the brackets. Fortnite God, I like the name, by the way. I'm from Birmingham and really want UAB to get in. I'm right there with you, man. I think they deserve it. I'm not sure if they will, but I think they can. They have the potential. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 Pac-12 teams. Yes, that was Oregon and who was the other one? I'm missing. USC. Oregon, USC. All right. So now we're going to the bottom of the bracket. Right now, the West has been filled out. We got the 1 seed Gonzaga. They're going to play the winner of 16 seeds Norfolk State and Appalachian State. Then we have the 8-9 matchup, Oklahoma versus Missouri. The 5-12, Creighton and UCSB. The 4-13, Virginia, Iowa, Ohio. I think that's going to be a good one. And then the 6 seed USC is going to play the winner of Wichita State and Drake. That's the 11 seed. 3 seed Kansas against 14 seed Eastern Washington. 7-10 matchup, Oregon VCU. Keep your eye on that Oregon VCU. VCU can most definitely pull that upset. I am eyeing that game heavily. 2 seed Iowa against 15 seed Grand Canyon. So far, and I know the rest of the brackets haven't been released, but I'm really liking that 2 seed Iowa versus 15 seed Grand Canyon. If you're not familiar, Grand Canyon has the second best defense in the nation. They are holding opponents to under 38% shooting from the field. And I don't know if y'all are familiar with the head coach, but the head coach of Grand Canyon is actually responsible for one of the most memorable memories in Big Dance history. He's the guy from Valparaiso that hit that game-winning shot against Missouri in that 15-2 matchup. Valparaiso was the 15 seed. Ole Miss was the 2 seed. Well, guess what? We're doing it again. Now he's the coach of Grand Canyon, who's the 15 seed, and Iowa's the 2 seed. Could we see a repeat? I'm kind of feeling it, guys. I'm kind of feeling it. If there's any 5-2 matchup, well, 2-15 matchup, excuse me, right off the bat, I'm really, really liking that Iowa Grand Canyon matchup. So we'll see what these other matchups go, but right now I really like that matchup. So we got a lot of people in the house. I appreciate it. Hey, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps with the algorithm. With the suggestion. Now we're in the East region, I believe. We got Baylor and Hartford. Is that the East region? Well, anyway, we got Baylor and Hartford. And if you've stopped by and you have no idea what's going on, well, this is Gold and Blue Dude. Hit that. We're in the South region. Hit that subscribe button. I do videos every day. And they're all... So we got North Carolina and Wisconsin. That's a nice matchup. They are all college football and college basketball. And if you see me looking down, I am literally writing these down. That's how I do it. I've done it every single year. I fill them out. No disrespect to anybody that does it online, but I've always been a writer. So we got the 5 seed Villanova. I like this matchup too. This is your 5-12 upset to look out for. Villanova, who's been a little shaky recently, and Winthrop having a monster season. Keep an eye on that 5-12 matchup. Here we go, the 4 seed Purdue. We talked about both of these teams earlier, and they got matched up. That is crazy. That is perfect. I am definitely going to talk about that matchup. The 4 seed Purdue against the 3rd seed North Texas. Earlier in the chat, both of those teams got mentioned, so I'm actually pretty excited about that. All right, so we got the 6 seed Texas Tech. Sorry if I'm not getting to your comments, but this is going by pretty rapidly, and I want to keep up. I don't want to get behind. I don't know a ton about Utah State, but I do know that Texas Tech has a good defense. The problem is if Utah State, and like I said, I'm not that familiar with Utah State, if they're a good shooting team, then the Red Raiders could be in trouble. I know Utah State finished either 2nd or 3rd in the Mountain West. Not 100% sure. But I think 2nd or 3rd. All right, so we got Arkansas. Oh, Arkansas a 3 seed. I had them as a 2 seed. Oh, boy. I think that's going to put Ohio State in the 2 seed. I think that's what they did with that. I think they knocked Arkansas down to a 3 seed, and Ohio State's going to be a 2 seed, and that's why it took a while for that to come on after the game. Yeah, book it. Ohio State's going to be a 2 seed. Florida's a 7 seed. What? And Virginia Tech's a 10. What? That makes no sense. Am I reading that right? Florida, honestly, to me in my head, those two should be flipped. If that was going to be a matchup, I would think that Virginia Tech would be the 7th seed and Florida would be a 10 seed. I'm blown away. Yeah, you were right, Michael Hogg. You were right. Yep. Right when I saw Arkansas as a 3 seed, I knew they were going to put Ohio State as a 2 seed. So good call. Good call. But to be fair, I didn't know that they were going to do that. I thought Arkansas was going to be the 2 seed and Ohio State was going to be 3 seed. But anyways, the biggest matchup that you might want to scroll down because it's going to be the bottom.
Well, they're probably going to do a commercial. They've been doing commercials.
All right, so all right, so we can go back up since they're not coming out yet. We'll talk about them in a minute. All right, so the biggest thing. Yeah, go to that one right there. The biggest matchup that I'm looking at is the 7 seed Florida against the 10 seed Virginia Tech. Now, that's going to be a good game. But the thing that's really, really getting to me is the seeding. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how Florida is a higher seed than Virginia Tech. To me, it almost seems like a typo. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, to me, that looks like a typo. Like, I'm expecting them to come out later and say, oops, we got that mixed up. Florida's the 10 seed, Virginia Tech's the 7 seed. That's how astonished I am. That is how astonished I am with that seeding. Like, I'm fully expecting them to come out later and say it was mixed up. So, yeah. But anyways, so
they're releasing each division.
Yeah.
And then they have commercials in between.
So basically, what's going on is they're releasing region by region, and then commercials in between. So that's why it goes fast, and then we have kind of a pause. So we have time to talk about some of these matchups. The 5-12 matchup that's really popping out to me is Villanova and Winthrop. Villanova had a hot streak going on there for a while, but they kind of faded towards the end, including getting beat by Georgetown in the Big East tournament. That's not saying much because Creighton, who's also a 5 seed, look at that. 2 Big East teams, 5 seed. The one that finished first place, Villanova, and the one that finished second place, Creighton, both 5 seeds. Creighton got crushed. But Winthrop is a good team. They shoot the ball well, and they're not going to back down from Villanova. So from what I've seen so far, if I'm going to pick a 12 over a 5, it would probably be Winthrop over Villanova. And as far as a 15 over 2, not Oral Roberts over Ohio State. I'm taking the Buckeyes in that. But on this other side, Iowa versus Grand Canyon, that one's got me to thinking. I don't have it locked in, and I'll probably think my way out of it. But right now I'm looking at it, and that looks like a really good possible 2-15 matchup where the 15 could upset. Angelo Clark says, is Syracuse going to make it? That is a good question. I still think they're going to make it. I really, really do. I think they're either going to make it in a play-in game or as a possible, 9, 10, 11 seed. But with 2 regions down and 2 to go and the Cuse not making an appearance, it does make you sweat. This is what I was saying earlier in my videos. I was laying it down. I was saying, guys, if your team is a bubble team, you're going to be sweating today. And, that's what's going on. Now, the reason I think Syracuse has a good chance is because they're competing with teams like Louisville. I think Syracuse has a better resume than Louisville and a better winning record. Duke, they shouldn't make it, but Duke is Duke. You never know. Teams like that. I think they have, as far as bubble teams go, Syracuse has one of the better records. So, lo and behold, Iowa is going to be the 1 seed. Where did my freaking pen that? It hasn't popped up. Okay, there we go. So we got Illinois and Drexel. So what 1 seed is left? We got so Illinois and Drexel. And I don't think Illinois will have trouble with that. So far, the 1-16 matchups, I don't see any problems as far as possible upset. Zach Monsieur, Longhorns win it all? No, sir. I would not bet the house on that one. I would say Texas probably the Sweet 16, but I think their trip will be done after that. Oh, here's a good matchup right here. Georgia Tech is a 9. This is what I'm talking about. That is nuts, guy. Oh my gosh. And Loyola Chicago an 8 seed. What in the world is going on? This doesn't make sense. I don't understand what's going on, guys. Loyola Chicago an 8 seed. They finished the season ranked. They won their tournament. Georgia Tech, the same issue. Tennessee is a 5 seed over Georgia Tech. Oh my gosh. Who's ever in that room today does not know basketball. They do not know basketball. This is ridiculous. Unbelievable. We got Oklahoma State. So there's your matchup, bud. You're the Liberty fan. Oklahoma State. I can't wait till my brother sees this. Look at this nonsense that's going on, man. They got freaking Georgia Tech, a 9 seed. Loyola Chicago, who finished ranked, won their conference tournament, an 8 seed. This is nuts, man. I was not expecting this, guys. I'm sorry. Well, his argument is because of their conference. I get that, but then, they have them ranked in the top 20, so they're kind of, contradicting themselves. See, Syracuse is in. I told you. I had faith.
Heard it here first.
You heard it from me first. I had Syracuse in. And if you're a longer subscriber who's been subscribed over the past few weeks, y'all know that I have been singing Syracuse's praise. Not because I think they're a great team, but they do have a good resume. I had Syracuse in, and I said their seeding was going to be 9, 10, or 11. They got 11. That's a good draw against San Diego State. I know San Diego State won the Mountain West, but I think that is a very winnable game for Syracuse. I still can't get over the fact that they have Loyola Chicago and Georgia Tech seeded under. Oh, West Virginia grabs a 3 seed. So what am I complaining about, right? I had West Virginia as a 4 seed. So I'm going to flat out say it. I don't agree with that. I don't think West Virginia should have been a 3 seed. But, of course I'll take that. Clemson a 7 seed. That's nice. I actually agree with that. But these seedings are all over the place, guys. Rutgers made it. What in the world is going on, guys? Rutgers? Did they look at resumes at all? What? This does not make... We're definitely going to pull up resumes and compare. This is nuts. Houston, the 2 seed, that's fine. This is unbelievable, guys. Wow. Where's my other pen, man? This one's going out.
Hey, look at that possible West Virginia Cuse match.
Oh, Big East battle could end up happening. West Virginia and Syracuse in the second round if we both win. That'd be crazy. Hey, do you see my other black pen? This one's kind of rolling on me. I guess I can just keep doing this. Dadgum, guy. I'm not understanding this, though. I am not understanding this. Loyola Chicago, an 8 seed. Georgia Tech, a 9 seed. And Tennessee, a 5 seed. And Oklahoma State is a 4 seed. And West Virginia is a 3 seed. Why is... And my team's West Virginia. I'm a West Virginia fan. Why are we a higher seed than Oklahoma State? Why in the world? That doesn't make sense. They beat us 2 out of 3 times. They finished higher in the Big 12. They went deeper in the Big 12 tournament. That makes no sense, guys. Their resume is a little bit better than ours. There's no reason for this. Something got messed up, guys. Something doesn't make sense at all. I did not expect my show to go this way. This is high drama for me. High drama. I'm seeing multiple issues with these seedings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 issues in one region. Number 1, why is Rutgers in the tournament? Why? That makes no sense. West Virginia, a higher seed than Oklahoma State. Why? They beat and I'm a West Virginia fan. They beat West Virginia 2 out of 3 meetings. They went deeper into the tournament. They got to the Big 12 championship. They have a better record than West Virginia. They finished higher than West Virginia in the Big 12. That makes no sense. And then you have Loyola and Georgia Tech as an 8 and 9, and then freaking Tennessee as a 5 seed. I'm actually this Midwest region looks like cake, to be honest with you. This is I don't know what they were thinking. This is crazy, guys. Wow. And I do like the Liberty Oklahoma State matchup, but that Loyola, Chicago, and Georgia Tech. See, that actually might have screwed Illinois, because now Illinois is going to take on a conference champion no matter what. Because Loyola Chicago won the Ohio Valley Conference and Georgia Tech won the ACC Conference. Georgia Tech is on fire right now. I believe they won 9 in a row. So that's really screwing Illinois. I kind of feel bad for Illinois fans, but I don't know. Dirty Katana says Georgia Tech finished higher than Clemson. Watch this comment. This is what I'm talking about. Georgia Tech finished higher than Clemson and won the ACC championship. Makes no sense. They have Georgia Tech a 9 seed and Clemson a 7 seed. Georgia Tech with the better record. They finished higher than Clemson and they won the ACC tournament. This Midwest region makes no sense at all. I've never seen a brackets that just totally threw me off. I was not expecting it to be this off. You see things like, well, they left this team out, and I think this team should have been in. I was expecting that. That happens every year. But to get the seeding that off, I'm shocked. I am truly shocked, guys. That somebody was drunk or something. I don't know. So now the East region is probably going to be a killer region since the Midwest is cake. The weird thing is, not only did West Virginia get an easier bracket, but we got a higher seed. All right, so the 1 seed, of course, is going to be Michigan. That stupid pen.
Switch to blue.
No, I want it to be all the same. It's going to be all black. All black ink. I like it. Very contrasty. All right, so we got Michigan against... Oh, it's going to be a playing game. Mount St. Mary's. Who's that other team? Mount St. Mary's and Texas Southern. All right. So that is a playing game. Those playing games are really difficult to call because this usually teams that you've never heard of. Crazy. All right, next up we got 8 seed LSU. What? 8 seed?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And 9 seed St. Bonaventure. I don't totally disagree with the St. Bonaventure seeding because they're a pretty good team, but LSU at 8 seed, I am totally. And Chris Colbert says we better not be a damn 8. What? How is Colorado a 5? Oh my gosh. Guys, this is nuts. Oh my gosh. So they have Colorado 3 seeds higher than LSU. What? And they're playing a red-hot Georgetown. I apologize for you if you're a Colorado fan, because now you could be a victim of a 12-5 upset. That's disastrous, to be honest with you. All right, we got the 4 seed Florida State. Man, they gave me some good ammo for some shows, man. Good. Man. UNC Greensboro, the 13 seed. That stupid pin.
I like it. That means DraftKings is going to be hot.
Yeah. All right, so the 4 seed Florida State against the 13 seed UNC Greensboro. I'm about to throw this pin, guys. Yeah, Cody Schiffman. So West Virginia is a 3 seed. Yeah. A 6 seed BYU. I mean, I had BYU in, but not as a 6 seed. That's a little high, guys. I would have them probably in the 8-9 matchup. It's not that West Virginia is a 3 seed. It's that West Virginia is a 3 seed and Oklahoma State is a 4 seed. Somebody make sense of that. There's no way to. Oklahoma State beat them 2 out of 3, finished higher in the Big 12, went deeper in the Big 12 tournament. There is no way to explain that. None. I don't care what argument you put on there. West Virginia should have been the 4 seed, and Oklahoma State should have been the 3 seed. That's just the way it is. All right, the 3 seed Texas. Did they get the play-in game for that other one? And 14 seed Abilene Christian.
It's down here. Michigan
All right.
State, UCLA.
All right, so I missed a last play-in game, and this is a good one, guys, for the 11th seed. Michigan State and UCLA. That's actually a good. I like that. That should be a close game. And then under that, UConn. That stupid pin. UConn and 10 seed Maryland. I actually expected Maryland to be in, so I'm not. And then the last matchup, the 2 seed Alabama. Stupid pen keeps going out on me. And I'm not switching colors in the middle. It would just look weird. Against Iona. Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
There's the bracket.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's out, but I don't even know what to. This is going to be talked about for weeks, guys. If you're an actual college basketball fan and you see these brackets, it does not make sense. Rutgers should not be in. I would have Louisville in over Rutgers, to be honest with you. Oklahoma State, a 4 seed, and West Virginia, 3 seed. That should be flipped. Tennessee, a 5 seed, and yet Loyola, Chicago, and Georgia Tech are 8 and 9 seeds. That makes no sense. I'm not understanding it. And then on the left side, in the East, we got LSU, an 8 seed, and Colorado, a 5 seed, playing Georgetown, the 12 seed. What? Scroll up just a minute. So Florida State was a 4 seed, but yet they dropped Virginia Tech down to a 10 seed. That makes no sense, too. And Florida, the Gators, they're a 7 seed. I would be okay with that Florida-Virginia Tech matchup if Florida was the 10 seed and Virginia Tech was the 7 seed. It doesn't make any sense, guys. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. I think North Carolina should be a higher seed than 8. Wisconsin, a 9 seed. I guess I'm okay with that. 8 seed Oklahoma against 9 seed Missouri. That's low from. How in the world is Missouri a 9 seed and Tennessee a 5 seed? Wow. That's crazy. All right, let's look at the 1 seeds real quick. We got Illinois, Baylor, Gonzaga, and Michigan. I agree with all those. And then the 2 seeds, Ohio State, Iowa. I think Ohio State beats Oral Roberts. But as far as the 2-15 matchup, I'm looking at the Iowa Grand Canyon matchup. For some reason, I'm liking the upset. Let's go to the bottom brackets. 2 Alabama over 15 Iona. I'm fine with that. 2 Houston against 15 seed Cleveland State. I think all the 2 seeds except for Iowa take care of business. I think the upset that could happen is Grand Canyon over Iowa, and I like Grand Canyon's defense. And it's a crazy coincidence that the head coach for Grand Canyon was the guy for Valparaiso that hit that last-second shot against Ole Miss, and that was a 15-2 matchup. And now he's the coach of Grand Canyon, and Grand Canyon's a 15 against the 2 Iowa. So I think that's a great storyline right there. I like that upset. All right, let's go back up to 3 seeds. I want to talk about the 3 seeds real quick. We got, 3 Kansas against Eastern Washington. Kansas takes care of business. 3 Arkansas against Colgate. Arkansas takes care of business. 3 Texas against 14 Abilene Christian. Texas is fine. And then 3 West Virginia against 14 Morehead State. I think West Virginia is fine too. I think all the 3 seeds are safe. 1, 2 seed in danger possibly. The 4 seeds, we got Virginia against Ohio. Right off the bat, I think Virginia could be in danger. They need to get some offense going because Ohio is a pretty decent offensive team. So if Virginia's defense can't hold up, their scoring is not going to match Ohio. So I'm keeping an eye on that one. The next 4-13, Purdue, North Texas. I like Purdue. I think they're a great team, but North Texas is coming on strong. So I'm not going to say that Purdue is in danger, but that's going to be a good game. Bottom brackets, the 4 seed Florida State against 13 seed UNC Greensboro. I think Florida State does fine. Let's see on this side. Oklahoma State against 13 seed Liberty. That's going to be a good matchup, but I do think Oklahoma State shoots the ball just way too much better. Liberty does have a good defense, but Oklahoma State's offense is just they're on fire right now. So I think for the most part, the 4 seeds are going to be fine. Let's see. Wisconsin fans on here. What's going on, bud? Lenny the Gump is on here. Let me get that name right. Lenny the Gump Summers. Chase Me Crazy says, did Memphis make it? No, they didn't. I am so glad you mentioned that. They got snubbed. That's not right. I do not agree with that. I think Memphis should have been. Rutgers should have been out. That's the big flip right there. Good call right there. Memphis in, Rutgers out. I love it. And Scott says, of course, Virginia might not even play. Yeah, having COVID issues. So, still got to deal with that. Now, let's look at the pivotal 5-12 matchups. These are the ones that people like to pick upsets. The first one, Creighton, UCSB. I'm not confident in picking that 12-5 upset. But Villanova in the South region against Winthrop, that's an upset I would probably be willing to pick. I think that's a 12-5 upset waiting to happen. And then in the bottom section of the brackets, 5-seed Colorado over 12-seed Georgetown. All right, that one's tricky because I do think that Colorado is overseeded, but at the same time, Georgetown only got in because they won the Big East tournament. So is Georgetown going to be able to, keep it rolling and beat Colorado, or are they going to be the Georgetown during the regular season that wasn't so good? So that was a coin toss, but I guess it's a possible upset. But I'm way more confident with Winthrop over Villanova. Then the 12-seed Oregon State against the 5-seed Tennessee. I'm very confident in picking this one. Oregon State, I know they only made it because they won the Pac-12, but their record is actually not that bad. 17-12. And I think Tennessee is massively overseeded. So I would definitely pick Winthrop over Villanova as far as the 12-5 upset, and Oregon State over Tennessee. And then I'm kind of back and forth with the Colorado-Georgetown. So this could be a crazy, crazy year. All right, now let's look at the 6 seeds real quick.
Did you look at Tennessee, Oregon State?
Yeah. 6 seeds. We got USC, and they're going to play. Who's the playing game of that? Wichita State and Drake. Wow.
Is it that one?
Yeah, it is that one.
No.
In the West? Yeah, the 6 and 11. That's going to be 11. Wichita State and Drake. So we got the 6 seed USC against the 11 seed Wichita State and Drake. So I think USC is kind of lucky that Wichita State and Drake had to play each other just to get in the first round, because both of those teams are really good. Wichita State, I believe they finished second in the AAC, and Drake finished second in the Ohio Valley Conference. I believe that's the way it turned out. But yeah, they could still give USC some issues, but teams that had to play a playing game usually don't do well in that second game, so I'm not confident about picking that upset. Let's see, next up, the 6th seed over here is going to be Texas Tech against Utah State. I think Texas Tech is fine. Their defense will hold up. I don't know much about Utah State. On this side, we have BYU playing game against Michigan State and UCLA. I might actually take the winner of Michigan State and UCLA on that one. I think BYU's overseeded, and Michigan State and UCLA, I had them in. They have good resumes. So, yeah, I think that is very possible. In the Midwest bracket, San Diego State and Syracuse. I'm going to take the upset. I'm going to take Syracuse. So I think in the second round in the Midwest Division, it will be an old Big East rivalry between Syracuse and West Virginia. That's going to be a great game. So now we're going to talk about the 7 and 10 seeds, and then, of course, the almighty 8-9 seed matchup. 7 Oregon against 10 VCU. I believe VCU won their conference, and Oregon got beat by Oregon State. So, yeah, that's going to be a really good game. 7 seed Florida against 10 seed Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech's going to win that game. I think that's the seeding that should be flip-flopped. I think Virginia Tech should be the 10 seed, and Florida should be Virginia Tech should be the 7 seed, and Florida should be the 10 seed. So, yeah, I'm going to take the upset just because I think they got the seeding wrong. So, technically, in my head, it's not an upset. So, on the bottom brackets, we have UConn and Maryland. I like that matchup. The crazy thing is I had met the winner of Maryland versus Michigan State in the Big Ten tournament. I had the winner getting in and the loser not getting in. Turns out, it didn't matter who won and who lost because they both got in. Michigan State got punished just a little bit. They got to have a play-in game. And Maryland gets 1 seed higher. They got a 10 seed. But they're playing UConn. UConn's very up and down. They're very streaky, just like I believe it was Georgia Tech. No, it was Arkansas. So, yeah, I think I'm going to take UConn in that one because I think they're riding a hot streak right now. And then in the Midwest region, the 7 seed, the 7 seed Clemson against the 10 seed Rutgers. I'm going to take Clemson. I don't think Rutgers even belongs. I wasn't even really discussing them making it into the tournament. I don't understand how they beat out some of these other teams, but they did. I'm going to take Clemson. And then finally, the 8-9 matchups. These are the ones that are very, very difficult. And this proves to be difficult. The 8 seed Oklahoma against the 9 seed Missouri. Oklahoma at one time was all the way up to number 6 in the nation. Then I believe they lost their last 4 out of 5. So they've just hit a very big bump in the road recently. Missouri kind of in the same boat, though. So this is literally a coin toss to me. I think this is going to be one of the better games. If you're going to force me to pick one, I'm going to take Missouri because Oklahoma still doesn't look right. At least Missouri is showing some fight recently. Right now, Oklahoma just doesn't look right still. And then over in the South bracket, North Carolina, Wisconsin. I actually like North Carolina. Wisconsin is capable. But right now, North Carolina is playing much better basketball. And then we go to the bottom brackets, and we have LSU, St. Bonaventure. That I've been high. If y'all been watching my videos, I've actually been high on St. Bonaventure for a while, so this did not surprise me, them getting in. Them getting a 9 seed, maybe a little bit. And LSU getting an 8 seed, a lot of it. I'm actually going to take LSU on this. I hope I'm wrong. I hope St. Bonaventure wins. I'm pulling for them. I just think they got the seeding messed up, and this is a mismatch. So I'm going to take LSU. LSU has a top 5 offense in the nation. However, St. Bonaventure has a lot of confidence right now. When they step on the court, they are playing like they can beat anybody. So that's a great. Thank you, Sports Prod. You said, nice to see you growing gold and blue. 130 people in here. Yeah, it was... It turned out great. At one point, there was over 200. So, yeah, this has been a successful live show. And then over in the Midwest, we have the 8 seed Loyola Chicago and the 9 seed Georgia Tech. They got the seeding wrong, but the matchup is great. So, I'm going to take Georgia Tech just because they're super stinking hot right now, and I believe Georgia Tech played just a little bit higher caliber of opponent. So, they've been tested just a little bit more. Loyola Chicago, they're hot too, but I just don't think their strength of schedule has been as good as Georgia Tech. So, my overall opinion, they've gotten some seeding issues. The selection committee got some bad seeding issues. Maybe this is the first time that I've recognized it because I'm doing a live show, and maybe this is why upsets happen so much because they do mess up seedings. But for whatever reason, it seems like this one really pops out. So we're going to go ahead and try to create one and see if we can navigate through this while you guys are watching and see if y'all agree with my picks. So yeah.
Let's just do a bracket challenge.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Let me log in over here.
All right, so my brother's gonna try to set this up to where we have an actual challenge. Is that what we're going for?
We're actually gonna fill out one for the challenge.
Okay, so we're not having an actual challenge on the channel. We're doing one on ESPN.
We're gonna do it on CBS.
CBS. All right, so we're gonna try to fill this out,
I gotta log in really quick.
and we'll see what you guys think. Don't forget to hit that like button. It helps with the algorithm, gets us suggested, gets more of an audience, so we can have great live shows like this. This was a great live show. So by you hitting that like button, it helps to have more great live shows like this. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I do videos every single day, not lives. I do lives probably 3 times a week, but I do a video every single day on my YouTube channel, and it's either college basketball or college football. So hit the subscribe button, and you'll be getting one of my videos every day.
All they're seeing is that background right there.
Okay. Well, right now you're. So I'm going to do the play-by-play for what we're doing right now. We are going through everything, filling out personal information. That's why you can only see the background right now, because obviously that would be pretty stupid for me to give out my personal information over the internet. So we're registering. We're getting this thing set up. Michael Hogg says, GBD, I'm going to take off, but I will check back later, and I will DM you later. All right, man. I'm glad you stopped by. X Prixer X, why do you not like BYU as 6? They were closest team to beating Gonzaga. No, sir. West Virginia was actually the closest team to beating Gonzaga, and at one point West Virginia was beating Gonzaga, and West Virginia lost by 5. But the reason I don't like BYU as a 6 seed, I don't think that it's like vastly wrong. I think it's slightly wrong. I had BYU maybe in the 8 and 9 matchup. So I think they're just a little high. I don't think they're like, oh man, they're way too high. Nothing like that. I just think they're a little high. I looked at their resume, and it's enough to get in, but I don't think it's enough to have a seed that high. That's all I'm saying. They did play Gonzaga well, but not in every game. In a couple games, BYU got blown out by Gonzaga because they played them more than once. But I think BYU belongs in. I was saying that. I had BYU in. I just think a 6 seed is a little high. Can you turn on the air in here? It's kind of hot. Don't you think?
Yeah, I can.
Kind of getting hot. Huh?
I can't. None of the brackets are available to fill out yet.
Oh, what?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't fill out any bracket yet.
Oh, we might have to do another live show for that.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Well, it turns out you can't do one right now, so we're at least live. I don't know what's going on, but we'll try to get another live show out as soon as those capabilities are out. But it's cool. Up there, they had the matchups and their record and stuff like that. I like to look at that. But yeah, this one was a crazy bracket reveal, guys. I was not expecting what they did. There's usually arguments about who should be in and who should be out, but on this one, the seedings are all over the place. I mean, just ridiculous. So yeah. But it made for high drama, so I definitely appreciate that. I love drama.
I wish they would let you just go ahead and drag. But
Yeah, drop and drag would be nice, but they don't let you do that. That sucks. All right, guys.
they'll probably release those within an hour or something.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. But yeah, don't forget to hit the like button. Let's keep this thing rolling. Want to have more great shows. Hit the subscribe button so you get my videos every day. We're about to jump off here. Because they won't allow us to fill it out right now. But as soon as they will, I'll probably try to do another live show. Comments real quick. Pizza Woman, Joe Smith, Ray Finkel's house, Chase Me Crazy, my brother Will Petrie, says, why does Rutgers not belong, bro? Well, it's because I compare their resume to teams that are not in a resume like Louisville. I think Louisville would belong in over Rutgers. It's not that they're a bad team. It's just that their resume isn't as good as some teams that were left out. I think Louisville, if you're going to put in Rutgers, then Louisville belongs too. So that one just kind of, I don't agree with that. Avery Merlot, Jacob Andrew, Justin Knox. Let's see, who else? Michael Hogg, Yeet Yeet. I like that name, Yeet Yeet. How is West Virginia higher than Oklahoma State? I don't know. They just are. It makes no sense. I'm blown away just like you. Rice Farrell. He's going to do a live filling out. Yeah, as soon as I am capable, I'll get on there too. Lee Keel, go Jackets, baby. Hey, you are very correct in having that much confidence. Go back down real quick, though. But them being a 9 seed, Georgia Tech a 9 seed, that I don't understand it. But I think you got a good matchup, and I think you have a decent chance to beat Illinois. I really do. I mean, that did help West Virginia being a 3 seed, because now we wouldn't end up playing the 1 seed until the Elite 8. So they kind of screwed Oklahoma State and helped West Virginia. Usually it's the other way around, so we were the beneficiary. Sports Prod, Bailey Rapp. I'm just trying to, recognize everybody. So I appreciate everybody in the comment section. Wisconsin Fan 100, I would say the most likely is Colorado Georgetown. I think that's a decent chance of an upset, but you got to remember, Georgetown got in because they got hot at the end. Georgetown isn't really a good team. They had an average season, nothing good, nothing great, but they got on fire at the end. So can they keep that going? Colorado, on the other hand, great offensive team. If Georgetown doesn't have the defense to stop that offense, it's not happening. D4 Sports in the house. I didn't see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Of course, he's a Texas fan. My outlook for Texas, I have Texas going to the Sweet 16, and after that, it depends on if Alabama gets to the Sweet 16. If so, then I would probably have to have Alabama beating Texas. Sorry, bud. But I do have Texas getting to the Sweet 16. So that's a quick Texas overlook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know that's a generic name, but I appreciate you stopping by. Where is Oregon State? They had them in the 11th spot, right? Go up. I think they're up.
That was right here.
Okay. No, they're the 12th seed. I think they're one of those 12-5 matchups that could be the upset. I think all but one. I think the Creighton UCSB is the only matchup that I'm confident the upset's not going to happen. But you have Villanova Winthrop. I think that upset could happen. Tennessee Oregon State. I think that upset could happen. And then Colorado Georgetown. I think that upset could happen. This could be the most upsets we've seen in a very long time, simply because they didn't know how to seed people. They seeded everybody in the wrong spot. So that could really contribute into a lot of upsets, more than usual. I don't even agree with my own team's seeding. If that tells you something. I mean, it's crazy. I don't understand how they come up with the seedings that they came up with. So we'll see what happens, but right now, I don't know. Greg Graham says, I liked and subscribed to the channel. Looks like a cool sports channel. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I've been going at it for a year and a half. We just hit 1,000 subscribers, so we're being able to put money back into the channel so we can put out an even better product. So one of my goals, one of my sayings whenever I started this, and as I'm going now, get better. Even when I think I'm doing good, doesn't matter. Get better. Never be satisfied. Chase Me Crazy says, could you do an NIT live stream? Yeah, I'm going to look into that and see what day that comes out, and then we'll try to get that going. That's a good idea, because teams that didn't get into the big dance might get into the NIT. So, your team didn't get in here, then I'm going to do that for you. I'm a West Virginia fan. It's happened to me many times. And there was a year where West Virginia went to the NIT, ended up playing Clemson in the championship and won. And that was a big deal. So I'm going to try to cover all bases, and we're going to do that NIT bracket. I just got to find out the date and the time for that.
Tell them, as soon as it's available for us to do a bracket, we'll jump right back on live and do a bracket. So
Yeah.
Sub, and they'll get the notification when we go right back live.
Yeah, as soon as the reason we're not making a bracket is not allowing us, but as soon as those capabilities are up and they allow us to do a bracket, we'll start another live stream and fill out the bracket. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe so you can come join us on the live stream and see if you agree with my predictions or where you think I'm wrong. But right now it just won't allow us. If they would, we would do it right now, but unfortunately they won't let us do it. And who was it? I need to scroll all the way back real quick. Mountaineer Mike was on here. I appreciate that. But okay, so here we go. Christopher Matthew. It's on now?
It's up.
All right, so we might do it right now. But I wanted to give a special thanks to Christopher Matthew. He was my first super chat. He donated $1.99. Said, will you be streaming the selection? Which we did. And I believe he had one more before that real quick. Hold on. No, Joey Foster. My bad, Joey. You were the first one. $2. You're awesome, man. Keep up the good work. So Joey Foster was my first super chat. And who was the other dude? Christopher Matthew was my second one. So those were my first two super chats. So I want to give y'all a shout out. That was awesome. First two was today. All right, so here we go with my brackets. We're going to lock them in. I might do multiple ones, but this is my first one. So the first thing I'm going to do is lock in all my 1 seeds. All my 1 seeds are automatically going to the next round. I don't care. I'm not going to look into the matchup. Only one seed has ever lost to a 16 seed. As far as the 2 seeds go, I'm going to lock in Ohio State in the, what is that? Upper right. In the, is that Midwest? No, Midwest is bottom. Anyways, I'm locking in Ohio State. I'm going to... All right, so that's the South? South. Okay, now I got it. All right, so, but in the... I'm going to actually pick the upset, Grand Canyon over Iowa. I know that's a big one, but I mentioned earlier how the coach was the guy for Valparaiso who won the 15-2 matchup over Ole Miss. So I think there's a lot of coincidence. Cool. Bama over Iona. I'm going to take Alabama. Houston over Cleveland State. I am reluctantly taking Houston, but they did thrash Cincinnati, so, I think they can easily take on lesser opponents. All right, back up to the West. All right, these 8-9 matchups are crazy, but earlier I said...
Let's do 3 seeds.
I was trying to pick who's playing Gonzaga. All right, we'll go in order. We'll stay like that. 3-seed Kansas against Eastern Washington. I'm going to take Kansas. I think Kansas is getting back on track. There at one point I had Kansas as like an 8 or 9 seed. So, yeah, it's actually crazy that now they're a 3 seed. All right, so. All right, so yeah, my brother actually just now put a super chat on me. $4.20. Nice amount, man. $4.20. Noise. Am I pronouncing that right? Noise. And that's what it looks like. Noise. I think. What did we get that from? Was it Nemo?
I don't know.
Something. Some movie we got it from. We always said noise. All right, so let's get back to the brackets. The 3-seed Arkansas against the 14-seed Colgate. I'll take Arkansas. They are super hot. Yes, they got beat by LSU, but that's fine. Down to the Midwest. I'm going to take 3-seed West Virginia. Yeah. I try not to be biased, but I just think West Virginia is a better team. 3-seed Texas, yeah. Reluctantly, I'll take Texas over Abilene Christian. Now let's talk about the 4 seeds. 4-seed Virginia over 13. Oh, you know what? I'm going to take the upset here. I'm going to take Ohio. Virginia's looked shaky, and their offense isn't that good. I'm going to take the 13 seed in this one as well. We were talking about this earlier, how North Texas was looking really good. Purdue's a good team, and I don't like picking North Texas over, but I just got this feeling. I'm going to take the 13 seed in that one. In the East, we have...
Let me shrink your...
He's doing some modifications on the fly.
It was just touching... That's good.
All right, so go down to the East bracket. All right, so we have 4 seed FSU against 12. What is that? UNCG. I'll take 4 seed Florida State. That's University of North Carolina at Greensboro. And then the 4 seed Oklahoma State against the 13 seed Liberty. I think I'm going to take Oklahoma State just because I think they have them seeded wrong. I think they're a 13 seed. They have no business. Thank you for the super chat, Marshall Burns, $1.99. Big 12 Sports and Smack a Friendship Group. What he's talking about is a Facebook group that I'm a part of, and I'm very active. So if you want to see what I have to say about the Big 12, go to that Facebook group and join it. It's a great group. All right, now it's time to talk about the 5-12 matchups. This is where a lot of upsets happen. A lot. Well, the first one, not going to be an upset. I'm going to take Creighton. I don't like UC Santa Barbara. I think they kind of got on a lucky streak there at the end. But this next one, 5 seed Villanova against 12 seed Winthrop. I think Villanova has been shaky recently, and Winthrop is having a great season. I've actually been talking about Villanova over the past 3 or 4 weeks. Winthrop. I'm taking Winthrop in the upset. I think Winthrop is a very good team. They're on fire. They've had a great season, and Villanova is primed for an upset. I'll take Winthrop on that one. So we got a 12-13 matchup already. How crazy is that? Now into the East. 5-12. Oh, gosh.
You're going to pick against every single
Oh, my gosh. I'm going to take Colorado because I think Georgetown just got hot at the right time. I think maybe they get complacent and they're just happy to be there. Colorado, on the other hand, they have a top 5 offense, so they got the guns to get it done. Then we jump over to the Midwest 5-12 matchup. I'm going to take Oregon State. I think Tennessee is overseeded, and I think Oregon State is better than people realize. I know that they would not have gotten into wouldn't have gotten into the big dance had they not won the Pac-12, but they're 17-12 with a decent record. Bailey Rep says, I am back, so my brother goes to Oregon State and I went to Liberty. So if Liberty and Oregon win, they would play each other. Well, that would be cool. Super unlikely. I agree. That is a good comment. I got Oregon State making it, but not Liberty. Yeah, I got Oklahoma State beating Liberty, so that would be a cool scenario. I actually hope I'm wrong on that one. I just think Oklahoma State, they're shooting just really, really good right now. Now on to the 6th seed. Mark Bron, how do you say it? Bronowski? WTF is this? I was watching Hentai, and it was recommended to me. That's what I'm talking about. That's because my subscribers hit the like button. That's why I was recommended to you. We're doing a live fill-out bracket for the NCAA tournament. So just sit back and enjoy the show.
All you got to do is enter these into DraftKings.
Yeah. So y'all can do this yourself. I'm just seeing if y'all agree with me. So we're going with the 6th seed USC in the West bracket. Yeah. They're going to play the winner of... Dadgummit, I got to pick the playing games. Go to the bottom.
Yeah. They're not...
Oh, so they won't let you pick the playing games.
You're just picking whichever one wins against...
Okay, I got you. I'll take USC. They just have bad luck, those playing game guys. So now we're going to the South 6 seed. Yeah, I'll take Texas Tech in that one. Now to the East. The 6 seed is going to be BYU, and the winner, Michigan State, UCLA. I'm actually going to take the winner. Yeah, I'm going to take that. I know they're not usually the playing guys. I don't know if they get worn out or whatever. You're suggested not to pick that. So this is a very, frowned upon pick right there. But I'm going to pick it. But in the Midwest region, I'm going to take another upset. I think Syracuse upsets San Diego State, and we get that Big East rivalry renewed. And if you're familiar with Syracuse, they do this almost every freaking year. They barely get into the tournament, and then they do some damage. I'm just hoping some of the damage isn't done against West Virginia. So now let's talk about the 7-10 matchups, starting with the West. I'm going to take VCU. I trust them way more than Oregon. I believe they won their conference tournament as well, but I had them in anyways. And in the South, I think they have this seeding all mixed up. So that's why I'm taking Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech should be the 7th seed and should be the favorite. I think Virginia Tech's the better team. UConn, Maryland, oh my gosh. Maryland beat Michigan State, but then they lost the game after that. I'm going to take UConn. They're looking much better recently, and usually it's the team that's hot right before the tournament that does better. The 7 seed Clemson against 10 seed Rutgers. Clemson, I don't think Rutgers even belongs. Sorry, Rutgers fans.
Should have been Memphis.
Yeah, that should have been Memphis or Louisville, but definitely Memphis. Memphis was robbed. Unbelievable. So back up to the West. Now we're talking about the proverbial 8-9 matchups. So off the cup, off my hip, I picked Missouri. So I'm going to stick with that. I'm not going to overanalyze it, overthink it. I'm going with Missouri. Same with the South region. Right off the bat, I picked North Carolina. I'm not going to overanalyze it or overthink it, overtalk it. Just going with North Carolina. In the East, I'm going to take LSU. I'm hoping St. Bonaventure wins, but my gut tells me LSU. LSU is a great offensive team. Okay, that was the matchup that I wasn't thinking of. All right, St. Bonaventure killed VCU in the A10. Why did I not think that was the A10? And I saw that matchup on my phone, and I still forgot about that. Good call. So, no, I'm sticking with that because Oregon has been on a bad streak. But as far as St. Bonaventure goes, so they killed VCU. Oh, my gosh. Now I'm overthinking just because of that one comment. I'm sticking with LSU. Yeah. Loyola, Chicago, Georgia Tech. I'm taking Georgia Tech. I think that seeding is ridiculous. That makes no sense. No offense to Loyola, Chicago fans. Great team. You won the Ohio Valley. But Georgia Tech being a 9 seed is just laughable. All right, now we're picking the Sweet 16. I'm going to take Gonzaga over Missouri. Missouri just way too inconsistent. I'm going to take Creighton. Yeah, I'm going to take Creighton. Creighton, I know Creighton got destroyed by Georgetown, but at least they did make it to the Big East Championship. Then we have the Trojans against Kansas. I'm going to take Kansas on that one. Trojans have been great, but they've also been terrible. VCU over Grand Canyon. I think the Cinderella story ends for Grand Canyon. They're probably not deep enough to make that deep of a run. Now we're into the East region. I'm going to... Michigan, yeah. And then Florida State over Colorado. I think Colorado is overseeded in that one. I'm going to take Texas over the winner. I don't even know how to say that. Just the winner of Michigan State and UCLA. And then at the bottom, I'll take Alabama to beat UConn. And then over in the South Division, I'm going to take North Carolina over Baylor. North Carolina's looked really, really good recently. I think they're a very deep team. They're very balanced. I think they can give Baylor trouble. I'll take Winthrop over North Texas. I've been high on Winthrop the whole year, so yeah, I've got them in the Sweet 16. Arkansas over TCU. I know they lost to LSU, but I'm taking Arkansas because they're just really hot. That's the first loss they've had in a long time. And then Ohio State over Virginia Tech. Even though I think Virginia Tech's underseeded, I think Ohio State's a better team. We saw that against Illinois today. When Ohio State's hot, they're hot, and they're hot right now. Yeah, I'm gonna take. I'm actually gonna take Georgia Tech over Illinois. I think this is an unlucky break for Illinois. I think this is way underseeded for Georgia Tech. They should not be a 9 seed. I had them as a 4 or 5 seed. So I think this comes down to bad luck for Illinois. Georgia Tech stays hot. I'm going to take Oklahoma State over Oregon State. They just shoot the ball way too well, and not Oregon State, Oklahoma State. So I think that's where Oregon State's run ends. West Virginia. I just don't like Syracuse. I'm not trying to be negative or anything like that, but we used to be rivals. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think West Virginia is just the better team in this one. Clemson over Houston. Houston is just too inconsistent. They have some terrible, terrible losses, and I know they won the AAC and they obliterated Cincinnati, but they're too inconsistent to go any deeper than that. I'm going to take Gonzaga over Creighton. I think so far it's been favorable matchups for Gonzaga. That's the only reason why they've made it this far. Kansas over VCU. I think this ends VCU's run. I'm going to take Florida State over Michigan. Michigan right now is actually not doing very well. They still had the resume and they still had the wins to get in, but right now they've been losing. So I'm going to take Florida State over Michigan. And then in the bottom half, Alabama over Texas. So I have Alabama in the Elite Eight as well. Then we move up to the South region. I'm going to take North Carolina to make an Elite Eight. And now our bracket is starting to look normal. See how that works? Bracket's starting to look normal. Arkansas stays hot, beats Ohio State, gets to the Elite Eight. Down to the Midwest. I'm going to take Georgia Tech to stay hot. I think they make it all the way to the Elite Eight. I said this at the beginning of the show that I thought Georgia Tech was an Elite Eight team. Just because they messed up their seeding doesn't mean I'm going to change that. I'm still having them as an Elite Eight team. And, of course, I have West Virginia beating Clemson. I think West Virginia just has one of those favorable roads. So, yeah, I got them playing. I mean, I think West Virginia was overseeded. I do. And so the matchups favor us. Maybe if Houston beats Clemson, Houston could, beat West Virginia. But even then, I don't think Houston is that good. I think West Virginia got a good bracket this year, just to be honest with you. All right, now back up to the West. This is where I think a big upset happens. I think Gonzaga grabs their first loss right here. Kansas to the Final Four. Kansas looking way better than they were in the middle of the season. Stays hot, gets to the Final Four. Then down in the East, I'm going to take Alabama, the SEC champions. They stay hot, and one of their historically one of their best seasons continues into the Final Four. And then up in the South region, I'm going to take North Carolina. I think this is one of those tournaments. Where experience matters and coaching matters, and just having that mentality of this is how far we're supposed to get. This is where we're supposed to be. So I think that's what gets North Carolina to the Final Four. And the key matchup as far as not busting my brackets is going to be that second round matchup with Baylor. Having North Carolina beat Baylor is gutsy, but I just think Baylor has the balance and the depth to challenge Baylor and take them out. And then after that, they have a fairly decent road. I think North Carolina's underseeded. I don't think they're an 8 seed. I thought North Carolina was maybe a 6 seed. So I think that plays a factor. And then, of course, that blue blood mentality. I have North Carolina going to the Final Four. And then down in the Midwest, this is not a homer pick. This is strictly based on the fact of how easy of a bracket and how overseeded West Virginia is. I feel like I'm dreaming. This doesn't look right, but I'm taking West Virginia to the Final Four. I know that looks like a homer pick. I do. But the bracket that they laid West Virginia in just doesn't make any sense. The toughest matchup we're going to have is Syracuse, an old Big East rival. But I think Bob Huggins knows how to coach against that zone defense. And Houston, I'm not confident as a 2 seed. I know I'm going to get trash talked over this. I get it. I'm a West Virginia fan. I have them in the Final Four. He's smoking that West Virginia weed. Whatever. But it's just the bracket. Okay, so if West Virginia was switched over, let's say, to the East bracket as a 3 seed, I think they would get to the Elite Eight and they're done. They'd probably get beat by Alabama in the Elite Eight, just like I have Texas getting beat by Alabama. But we have one of the weakest 2 seeds we have a 1 seed that's going to get tested by Georgia Tech right off the bat. And honestly, our biggest challenge might be Georgia Tech just because of how hot they are. So that one's more of a coin flip to me, but I think West Virginia is probably a little bit more talented than Georgia Tech. So now we're at the Final Four. National championship game. I think the Blue Bloods get it done. I got Kansas versus North Carolina. And it's by the end of this thing, it's going to be like, okay, well, never mind. This tournament actually turned out to be normal because, the 2 Blue Bloods ended up in the national championship. And out of those 2, I'm going to take Kansas. I think Kansas wins their first national championship that they've won in a while. I think that rough patch in the middle of the season is going to pay off. I think it strengthened them, and they've gotten hot over the past 3 or 4 weeks. I know they lost. Well, they didn't. They actually didn't even lose in the Big 12 tournament. They had to bow out due to COVID. So if they don't get the COVID situation figured out, then this might be for nothing. They might not even get to play at all. And there you go. My brackets are busted. So I'm putting all my chips in on the fact that I think they're going to be healthy. If you look at how they've played over the last, 10 to 12 games, they've looked like a completely different team. They've looked like a national championship capable team. And I think had they not been pulled out of the Big 12 tournament, I think they would have won it, and Kansas would have been a 2 seed. And this conversation wouldn't look as ridiculous. As far as North Carolina goes, I can understand people talking trash and saying, you're crazy. What are you thinking? But I think they have that blue blood mentality. I think they have the depth. I think they have the balance. I think they're in the best part of their season right now as far as the way they're playing. If you would have asked me if North Carolina was going to even make it into the tournament probably in early January, I would have said, I don't know, man. They're in bad shape. But ever since then, they look great. They look like North Carolina. And I think they are a little underseeded. I think North Carolina is more like a 6 seed. And out of that bracket, the 2 teams that I think that could beat Baylor would be North Carolina and Arkansas. And I just have Baylor getting beat just a little bit earlier in the second round. I think the inexperience will catch up to Baylor. And just that mentality of being a blue blood and the coaching is what will get past Baylor. That's the big one. That's the one that I'm looking at as far as busting my brackets. Because if that goes south, then, my brackets go crazy. So there you go. Call me crazy, and you probably are.
Let's fill this tiebreaker.
That's fine. We got to fill the tiebreaker up real quick, and I'm going to say Kansas wins, we'll say 78-72. I'll take Kansas by 5. But I don't think it's too high of a scoring game, but there you go. Booty LMAO says Zaga winning it all. I have them getting beat by Kansas, but if Kansas doesn't knock them off, then yeah, they could absolutely win it all. There's just a few key matchups that I see in there as to why I'm picking these upsets. I'm not going to go into depth right now because this is a live show, but if you hit the subscribe button, I am going to go into depth as to why I'm picking these certain upsets. So hit that like and subscribe. I'll explain more into detail, not just I'm crazy thinking off the cuff. No, I've done my research. I know why I'm picking, how I'm picking. So I'm going to go more into depth as to why I think Kansas is going to win it all and why Gonzaga will get knocked out early, why Baylor's going to get knocked out in the second round, and why West Virginia will get to the Final Four. For West Virginia, it's simple. Easiest path. Usually West Virginia gets the worst path. So I am truly stunned at how easy of a path West Virginia has. So, yeah, I think West Virginia does get back to the Final Four. It was just meant to be this year. Joey Foster agrees. He says, I'm thinking West Virginia has a really easy path all the way to the championship. Well, once you get to the championship, or once you get to the Final Four, that's when you really find out what you're made of. I think we get to the Final Four, but I just think we run out of steam. I think our depth hurts us. And I just don't think Gabe Osabuehin can stay out of foul trouble that many games in a row. I think the Final Four game is probably the game where Osabuehin fouls out, our depth catches up to us, and we run out of gas. But we did get to the Final Four. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this live show. Don't forget to hit that like button. It helps. Trust me. Not going to explain it. And if you just happen to stop by and stumble onto this live stream, you're like, what the heck is this? Golden Blue Dude right here. We just hit 1,000 subscribers. I'd appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button and join the Golden Blue Dude train, and we'll keep on marching. Next stop, 5,000 subscribers. I appreciate everybody stopping by, and we'll see you the next time we do a live stream. But tomorrow I'll have a video out. Not sure what time. I got to travel back to South Carolina, so probably sometime in the afternoon. So everybody take care. I'll see you next time.